What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Just a quick reminder if you're tuning in on YouTube, don't forget the disclaimer. Remember that day trading is risky. Remember to not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. If you're looking to pay the mortgage or your rent, do not try it. You will get cooked. As trading is hard, trading is risky, and you got to be careful at all times to not get caught slipping. All right, with that being said, what's up? Welcome back. Hopefully everyone is feeling good, doing all right. Okay, enough of the jokes in the chat room. We got ticker NVVE, which is currently in play. We had a previous pre-market high at 469, and currently we're consolidating here in a shorter range. And it's looking okay. It's looking pretty decent here, actually. So we've had lows, though. Let's see, 458, high, the move was 508. That gives us about a 50-cent range currently. Time, 19:26. There's 10 minutes to the open. The 5-minute candlestick is about to close. Can we see an uptrend here and a push to 550? I'm going to have this be my main watch list stock because it's holding up so well here. If we put up the gap scan quickly, you guys will see that there's a few others as well. FL, YX, JTAI, maybe even ACON as well. I didn't look at that one, but it might be worth some early trades here. Okay. Let's just post this quickly. I'm just trying to make sure I do all my due diligence here. So once the open does come, I'm like, ready to go, and the action doesn't sneak up on me here. All right. Yeah, so if we come to dual screen, you guys will see that there's some other stuff on the scans, but NVVE definitely looking pretty prime right now. Yesterday, we had a bigger red day. So today, the aim is green. We're going to also be using a little bit smaller size. Not the same size yesterday. So stocks like at this price range, instead of going up to 4K size, we're going to go up just to 2K size. That way, there's just limited risk in terms of share size in itself. But the aim is going to be green, and we're looking forward to seeing some follow through here today. So we're pulling back here a little bit into the new candlestick on 5. VWAP is down there around 60s. Looks like we're putting in a bit of a new low here, 58 area. We did have a topping wick, a bit of a reversal candle there. I'm going to try for the double bottom here. If we can see a nice 15-cent bounce or so, that'll be lovely. Just a couple cents risk. Just a couple cents risk here. We came down by like an extra 3 cents. Still a bit of a double bottom. Yeah, today, can we see some follow through, right? Like I think on our uptrending moves, it's been pretty bad. Like we've been getting the first leg, the first 3 minutes or so of the open. Stocks will like surge up. We might have two or three different stocks that might give a good green candlestick or two. But then from there, we're seeing like majority sideways trend, right? We're not really seeing stocks curling up, holding up. We're kind of just coming back down and not really seeing a chance at a higher push. So we got 6 minutes. I'm going to start up my screen recording here. The balance ended up being 7 cents there. So scratch trade. Let's see. Screen number 3. All right. Okay, looks good. Yeah, so there's some other ones. Again, FLYX, JTAI. Okay. Why did that happen? Am I going mad here? Hold up. OBS. There's 2. Oh, I see. I see. I see what I did there. Yeah, this is my screen up top. All right, that makes sense. I gotta fix that. Okay, there we go. And now this one is the other one to record. So for a second, I'm like, wait, am I going mad here? All right, there it is. There it is. Yeah, ACON is also on the list. It's up a little bit here too. Let's see. Yeah, ACON curled up a little bit. We also have FLYX curling up. This one might be finished here. I mean, again, we did have this bit of a rejection candle. The double bottom bounce only went up about 7 cents off the lows of 56. And so this one might be cooked. So I think I'm going to shift over the FLYX. And then ACON. I'm going to say this in advance. I'm probably not going to have the right stock on this, or let's say I'm not going to have the stock that I'm trading on this screen at all times because it's just a little too much to be going back and forth all the time, So I'll just keep the other one on the other screen and kind of go from there. Let's put JTAI here. And then NVVE. I think the biggest thing for me today, yesterday we had some execution issues. The day before we had like a nonsense trade at the open where we didn't really wait for all of our signals. We kind of had a bit of like a scalp trade. Yeah, the key for me will be execution and patience. And when I am taking on a trade in a good setup like the one yesterday, I have to always remember to space out the ads. And again, keep that total position size in mind, right? Relative to how much I'm trying to scale in and not scale in too much too quickly, but instead, continue to space out the trades. Higher fills can happen. That's part of the game. But other than that, we got to really be patient, give the stock a chance to really, bottom out, right? And we'll also be keeping an eye for the red to green signals as usual. But today we need to do a better job of that. So FLYX, we got the pre-market high up there at 703. And hopefully this one give me the data. I feel like I have to sneeze here. Hold up. Pretty sure I load. Okay, there we go. That's better. Yeah, the daily chart looks a little interesting. We're kind of in a place where we've kind of had some resistance before, so hopefully we can push over the $7 level, with relative ease if it gets back up here. Hopefully it gets back up there. ACON, FLYX. So I want to wait patiently for a good setup here. There is a small flag right now. The break over the high of the flag could be interesting, but we'll have to see some good volume and a tight spread here coming up. We've pretty much just had the first 5-minute candlestick to make a new high over $6. NVVE curled back up, by the way. Oh, okay. It's going a little bit. I actually missed that. It's halting up 26. It's halting up 26. That's a pretty quick halt, so we'll see how the resumption looks. We might get a chance for a sweet dip and rip here as it's hitting the halt scans. All right, that one is obviously strong here to start, so that's good. I think I'm going to pull it back up. Nice, nice. Dip and Rip City, Big Steve. Dip and Rip City. Now, the only tricky thing right now, right, as FLYX here is pushing over 6, we're not sure just yet if it's going to be a strong day. Like, are we going to really hold up this move and give consecutive green candlesticks? If we can, there's a high chance we can see a good, smooth setup. But if we're going to see a Christmas tree in the minute number 2, 3, there's nothing, there's just going to be nothing. So we're going to have to find out. And I think it's a nice move up here. So I'm willing to give it a go. Not full size right away, but, some size. So FLYX pushed up there to 636. And an instant halt up here as well, jumping to 670 there. Okay, we might be seeing a hot day here after all. I'm going to throw out a starter here on the dip at the $0.50. Watching Got it. I gotta be careful of the Christmas tree. So adding low 40s here, watching to see the red to green and potential retest of 70 area. There's 60 or close to 60. Only a 1200 share position there, but decent trade. I gotta check the resumption time on the other one. Okay, we're seeing two stronger stocks out of the blue. That's definitely a good sign, if anything. Time. The other stock has 2 minutes to go. NVVE, 2 minutes to that resumption. So again, FLYX, I have it off screen, but as mentioned earlier, I'm just not going to be able to have everything up. It's just too much to be doing, sadly. I'm still holding like 50 shares from 45 average. And we had a high of 85. Can we rank and repeat on another setup here? 1 minute, 27 seconds to resumption. I'm going to throw out a starter again. Okay. It's a bigger dip this time. Low 32. Aw, come on. Five-minute time. It looks like it's giving back the entire Christmas tree. See, again, the Christmas tree is what we don't want to see. So we're back to flat there after that good trade. All right, resumption coming up in 33 seconds. 5:42. Bro, these Christmas trees, man, I tell you. And we did add again two on that dip, so a little bit of an error there, but the Christmas tree in full effect. We're not seeing the follow through on that one. So NVVE, are we going to be able to see some follow through here? 5:26. Here we go. Resumption coming up. Not a good one. Watching here, mid-40s. Yeah, easing off. It's coming down. So I'll have to wait for some candlesticks here. Gotta wait for some candlesticks. No dip and rip. We're kind of dipping, and I had some slippage on the first trade. Lows, 510. We have to hope it doesn't, sell off into oblivion here. Okay, all right. We got a high of 54. On the current candlestick, high of day at 69. It's a pretty quick V-shape red to green. Didn't get a chance to get in there. So just waiting patiently. So taking my position here, I'm actually going to reduce the risk just a little bit, but watching to add. Risking off of previous levels, of course. So we didn't really break down there to add, but still watching just in case we get something. So pretty much in with a starter here and watching to take some more. It is a little risky because our 5-minute candlestick is a little, it's under some stress. Nope. All right, fair. FLYX halted up. My stop there was at 10 for the double bottom. The follow through, bro. We're just not seeing anything. So FLYX is halted back up now. Will this one give something? So low 20s average there, looking for 10 cents risk for the potential curl back up to the $0.50. It's coming down. So NVVE, no good. And we're off to a red start here. Not good. FLYX. So now, it makes me wonder if this resumption is even going to be worth anything, right? We've had two good moves on two different stocks, which have failed. Now, this one is trying again. Will there be anything here? So I'm going to size down even more here because it's a rough start to the day between the two stocks already, the two accounts. So no bueno. No bueno. We lost 400 on the dip and rip trade on the other account. 1,600 shares. I'm not sure my fill. I don't check anymore. I just kind of like look at the level 2. If I had to guess, I probably had a higher fill because from what I saw, I lost like 10 to 13 cents, but the trade was a much bigger loss than that. So I'm not even sure what kind of entry they gave me there. Let's see. Oh, we did have a loss just now at the end there, but yeah, 63. Like that's awful. I bought the dip at like 46 off the initial open. I'm seeing that I got filled 63. That's crazy. So as mentioned, Big Steve, it's basically think or swim, right? Like if you use a market order, you got to just know that you could be filled, much higher, which is fine. No issues there. The real issue is the follow through in a normal situation where the dip and rip is going to work. Even if we're filled high at 60 off the dip at 40s and like I think we had like 37 lows is what I saw. Even if we're filled high, we're looking for the move through the whole dollar. So we should still be making 30 cents on that type of trade, although it's not the full amount we would want to make versus the lower fill. So went for it there and no follow through. We're like 0 for 5 here, so we're just gonna take smaller size on this one. If it happens to work again, if this one happens to work and hold up, then we can like size back up into the next setup. But everything just pulling back after an initial move. So, and there's no countdown. We got halted at 39, so at 44.56, which is another minute and a half. The good news here is that the pre-market high is at 702. $702. We're close to $7. So, hopefully we're able to open up and see something. Damn, bro, these Christmas trees. If this thing opens up and just sells off, bro, I'm gonna just please. We need something to hold up. Something. Big Steve, we just need one stock to hold. If this thing opens up and like hits 7 and just back down to $6, it's not what we want to see. By the way, let me make sure I want to take market orders here. So let me switch over this account to the right ticker, FLYX. In the dip and rip, I like the market orders more because it's just a little bit quicker to deal versus like the limit orders and not getting filled. For me, it's even worse. But only 700 shares here. Can we get a dip? It's an instant halt up. And no chance to get in. At least for halting up and not selling off. That's the good news. But bad news, no entry. Dang, no entry. Please, can we get a dip on the next one? Give us something. So it's a second halt up in a row, which is not an issue. But again, we've went from 670 to now 740. We're a little bit more expensive in price. There's going to be a little bit more risk. But the key here is to see the pullback. If it goes into another halt up again instantly, then it's going to be too risky at that point. Come on. So we started off small green 150. We took the dip again. It turned into a Christmas tree candlestick. No bueno there. We lost on the dip and rip. That trade at 520s was a little risky, I will say, because our 5-minute candlestick was struggling a little bit. But 700 share position. We just took some slippage in that trade is the bigger thing, but that was a fair trade. The resumption trade, higher fill, tough loss there. Like 20 cents on 1,600 shares is not good. So small green to red to. So opportunity is the name of the game here. Can we see some good opportunities? FLYX, can we see a good setup for the dip and rip? I'm at a deficit. My share size is also going to be at a deficit for good reasons. So with the smaller size, the aim here is to at least just see something hold up because from looking strong early, you know, this market, man, I tell you. I'm gonna trade this stock very fiercely. Like I'm not gonna hesitate, but you know we need to see it hold. If we see it hold, they'll be winning trades. So time, we got halted on this one at 45.11. So at 50 and 11 seconds, 2 minutes and some change. Fifty and 11 seconds. We got less than a minute. No fear, no hesitation. Can we see a dip and rip out of the second halt up here, which is slightly over the pre-market high? We got about 20 seconds. Order entry looks good. Everything looks good. We got about 10 seconds. We're at 7:44. Here we go. Is it 10 minutes? It looks like it's 10 minutes. So that means it's gonna resume higher. Probably like 760, well, more than that, probably like closer to 8. We're gonna need a good pullback. The fill on that first one was crazy though, man. I mean, just man, it's pretty bad. I don't think anybody could have anticipated an instant halt up on that last one, on that last resumption. So, or let's say, yeah, on the last resumption. The only way you're capturing that trade is if you're still watching this one off the red to green here, or maybe the baby pullback in this, you know, drop before the extension up. Even buying on resumption, like buying before the resumption, you probably get filled into the halt going up, which is pretty risky in case we see a bigger pullback here out of this one. You know, sometimes I think like, you know, is it just it might just be better just to stick to one stock. Like it's kind of tough to say that, but you switch to the other one, you know, and you miss the red to green here with the earlier entries. The other one, of course, you know, it's like not giving any follow through. If you're sticking to one and it does curl up, you're seeing the entries early to jump in. Because even in this trade here, right? If you're watching this red to green and you're in, this already could be your day in these 3 minutes here, you know, into this extension. But showing up into the resumption, you know, we're hoping there's a dip and rip setup. There's a couple of things we're hoping for, and there's a couple of things that, you know, could go against us, right? We don't want to see a Christmas tree. That's the word. That's the last thing we need here. If this stock sells off all the way down to the view up, it's not going to be good. All the scalp traders are going to probably take losses because we're just coming down on the dip. So we need to see us hold up, right? When the pullback comes, can the pullback hold up? That'll definitely give us a chance to retest the highs or make a new high, maybe get halt up again. But people holding with the lower average here, you know, they're kind of enjoying the trade whilst we're looking for an entry. So 55 resumption time, 55.11. We got about a minute. But for me here, still no fear, no hesitation, because it could keep going, and that's all I need to know, right? Like, I'm gonna watch the setup that I know and love. If it doesn't work, that's fine. But if it gives a sweet dip, best believe, I'm in. I am gonna be in like seasoning. $7.44. And I just trust my best judgment and look to manage risk to the best of my abilities. Another day of managing risk. We're at 7:44. The resumption is in about 10 seconds. All right, here we go. Holy smokes. Dip some more, dip some more. Taking 780. Okay, I'm a little early. There's 760. I'm going to try it again. Watching for 850 on the curl. Stops at the lows. There's 8. Can we see over 8? What we don't want right here is a new low. Fight for your life and hold the line. Now take me to the moon. Take me to my destiny. Fly to the moon. Well, I had 1,400 shares, about 75. I'm back out because it didn't get back over the whole dollar there. Got to be careful here. If it breaks down, it's probably going to be it. If it breaks down, I think that might be it. These damn stocks, bro. Yo, it's cooked. This is terrible. Like, this is awful. This is just terrible. When these stocks start to work again, bro, it's just night and day. Like this, we'll make thousands on this in our sleep. What is this nonsense here? But again, the people who are in off this red to green, they killed it. If you switched away and you missed this red to green over the VWAP, you missed the entire thing already. I'm gonna have to take this L and shut it down, you know? Ah, man. Bro, just ridiculous. I gotta take the L. This is unbelievable, bro. Now I'm red on the year. I'm red on the year here after today. We pulled back there with high of day volume, and with what we've been seeing with this current market, what are the odds that this is able to curl back up, you know? Man. ACON. ACON to, I don't even know. I don't know what to say about this one. It's halted up. Hmm. Bro, oh my gosh, look at the first fill. Oh, like what? Bro, I'm getting cooked with the fills. My first fill, buying it like mid 70s, I got filled 95. So I'm wondering, like, I updated this thing here. I'm like, how am I more red? How is it possible? Because the 1,400 shares that I had at 74, I sold one up at the whole dollar, like, and honestly, I did not want to sell that position up until like 850, like 830 minimum. But it's struggling at the whole dollar. I'm like, okay, I'll sell half and like hold the other half break even. I got filled on the very first resumption there because it was three total trades. So the first trade I had at mid 70s, or I thought I had it mid 70s. I got filled 90s. Brutal. This is this is frustrating, man. ACON, you know, President Bush said it best, right? You fooled me once, shame on you. You fooled me once, I'm not gonna get fooled again. I have zero expectations that this thing could do anything. ACON. And because I'm saying that, right, here's how the market works. Because I'm saying that, now this is gonna be the stock that goes. That's typically how it works, right? There's 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds to that resumption, and another less than a minute really to FLYX. Resumption is coming up here in another 15 seconds if it's a 5 minute. You see, in a hot market in the past, it's like you just know that once it's hot, it's hot. Like once you're seeing resumptions working, you're good to go. And so you trade ACON after getting nicely green already here with massive size because you just know there's too much indecision here within the market. So to trade this one, I can only use 200 shares max. There's another minute 22 seconds. I just can't put size because some people might try some dips in here for a bounce, but I'm leaving this one alone, not touching it. It's frustrating because the one area where it went up, there wasn't a chance to get in, you know? Resumption, 39 seconds ACON here. Let me pull it on screen. The day right now is telling me to walk away. And I'm still using 200 shares on this stock. I'm kind of going against the rules here. This might be classified as an overtrading opportunity for me here. So if I take a loss, you know, I know exactly what it is. 200 shares, 894. Here we go. Fly, 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 fly. It might go, but it's just pathetic. Like, we should have already been at $9 plus, like, you know, over the whole dollar here. Yep, I'm gonna walk away. Two back-to-back $800 loss days. I might as well have went to the mall and went shopping with all my friends and family. 2K could have bought a bunch of stuff. Instead, it's on Wall Street in some other guy's pockets as he's smiling. And I'm getting cooked. Hopefully you guys caught something on the red to greens, but I'm just gonna call it here. Bro. Is this the market getting payback for all the sweet green days we've had throughout the years? I'm going back to small size tomorrow. You know, these last 2 days, I'm thinking, you know what? Try to go for it a little bit more aggressively. I'm sizing right back down, man. In which case, if I'm gonna be red on a day like this, I'm red $200 and it's nothing. 1K is like, you know, you can feel it a little bit more. Look at this thing. It can't even get over $9 in 3 minutes of a resumption. Small size, Big Steve, for me tomorrow. Small size. The good news is that it hasn't broken down below the low of the first candlestick. So hopefully it's a slower move up and we can get through $9. If not, you know. So again, for me, even if I'm not in the trade here, I'm just hoping at least the stock can go up for the sake of long bias traders. Please do not collapse. Hold up the line here, 50. Looks like it held the line here, so it might have a chance. That was pretty close, though. It almost looks like it almost went down there. Does it have what it takes to slowly curl up there to 870, 880, and attempt a break of 9? FLYX resumptions at 620s. So it went a little lower, or no, a little higher, I guess. Bit of a bounce there. ACUN is under stress here. I mean, we held up twice. Can we hold up again? Big Steve, at this rate, I'm going to be called the retired trader, bro. Retired trader. It's coming down a bit. There's 39. Bro, this is just not the same market. Like, in the past, if a stock does this, right? If we get this type of big move into a halt up like this, it is game time. Like, we're going to see 10, 10.50, 11, 12, 13. This thing couldn't even go up a dollar a share. It's time to take a big vacation and then come back when it's hot, like a real hot market again. It's insane the difference though, you know, like night and day difference in terms of like today, what we saw today for the opportunities. Definitely a little disappointing. Let me ask Mighty if he's been able to get any gains here. If the Mighty got some green, that gives me some confidence because at least it means that there was some up. Well, I mean, you know, the red to greens, right? I guess the red to greens were there if you didn't switch away or if you're still watching the same stock kind of thing. The Mighty's probably still dialed in. So we broke down 50. The VWAP held up here at 35. It's curled up again a little bit. There's 85 ACON. Again, for me, I'm on the sidelines. I'll stick around until 10:30, and then I'll be out of here. Tomorrow, sizing back down. Small size. Max loss is going to be 300. Hollis, that's a pretty funny comment there. I'm guess referring to a big seller. 880s. 16 hundo, bro. 16 hundo. I could have gotten some coilovers for the car. I could have probably gotten some airbags. See, you know, you don't want to think about it like that, of course, right? Dash saying solid day, connected. See, that gives me confidence right there, right? If some of the guys at least were able to make something. I'm definitely thinking the key was those red to green areas, though. So now after today, I'm red on the year, like 900. Yesterday, after the big loss, we were flat on the year. Now we're red on the year, $900. So small size, probably saw small size for the rest of the month, honestly. Bro, the days of just waking up to 5K in your account every day, like just, that's why you have to always remain humble and just, be grateful. Because the days like today, when it's raining and you're stuck outside without the umbrella and you're getting toasted by weathering and erosion. ACON trying again here at 90. Here's the breakout at last. It needs to hold up over the whole dollar. Oh, just not. Come on. That's not what we want to see. See, that's what's getting me right there. That right there is what's getting me. Bro, I would have for sure added back at night, like, like 98, 97. I would have for sure added back. And I would have took a 40-cent loss right there, like nothing. This day is just disappointing, I think. The day is just a tough day. High of day volume. Finally a nice breakout after consolidating. Even made a new low. We held the VWAP nicely. And now Christmas tree. Even if we give a false breakout and we end up holding up at the VWAP again, it's like this. The market is really just showing us what's going on here. We couldn't have asked for a better breakout here. Granted that we took some time, we consolidated, fine. Right here, you can't ask for a better breakout than this. And then now the results, just insane. Bro, this is just ridiculous. This is why I'm losing though, right? Like I would have bought this dip back here at like 98 thinking, because in the past for so many years, that's exactly what the stock would do. It's impossible for the stock to just go all the way up without dipping, right? Let's say it goes from 9 to 925 like it did. A stock wouldn't just go all the way to 10. Well, I mean, sometimes, but not to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 without giving some small dips along the way. So in this case, once we see a little bit of selling and profit taking up there at 925, 936, the dip back down into that previous resistance is curling right back up to retest that high and then some. So from 9, we see, 935 again, 950, 960. Stock, from there maybe keeps going or might pull back again. To be in at 9, risking about 15 cents, 10 cents max, really. and then stopping out at like, 870 is kind of tough. 840. Well, not even 870. 840 was the quick spike down right there. And God forbid you told yourself, you know what, man, I'm just gonna average down, and we bounced off the VWAP. This could just be a double bottom bounce off the VWAP. If you only went with that idea and you added down here into this bear flag, your average is probably 850, 870, and then now it's halted down, and it's like a blow up day. If your mind had swayed to that side because of the previous support there. FLYX crawled up a little bit there, but we're getting closer to 10:30. I'm gonna shut it down, post the early recap, and I'm gonna go and record some content for another YouTube channel. Nothing makes me more frustrated than like adding cash to an account. Like I had to add cash to my account once, and like that type of stuff is like ridiculous. Like it should never, 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 never have to happen. Back in my Thinkorswim account, like my account was like very, very big. So it's like you just kind of take a loss and it's whatever. All my new accounts, I put them just at like 30K, right? All my new accounts, I put them only at 30K, and so I had to add cash to one of them, and it's like just it's insulting, really. So sizing down, and just gonna grind out the month with small size. These are trades that I actually would take. I mean, the move down was so aggressive that you would think we should get a bounce, right? Can we at least see like 830? There's 810. There's 818. I guess 820 is not bad for the quick bounce. Maybe over time it does something a little more, but and so in terms of like why I sized up, a lot of days we've been seeing some decent momentum early where I've been in trades where, if I had a little bit more size, we would have had some really nice days. And so I'm like, you know what, man, let's just go for it. and just getting destroyed these last 2 days. It's almost as if we couldn't even find a trade to go up, a stock to hold up like nicely. So trade zero. Yeah, there's some people in the chat room that traded pre-market, some at the open it looks like as well. Shout out to Minty, Alice, John, and Jimmy, who had some nice days here today. Tempest. Yeah, I think this is it for me. So for those of you going till 4 p.m., continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient. Hopefully you guys were able to connect here in the chat room as well as on the YouTube stream. Hopefully you guys can connect and, get the ball rolling. My brain. There we go. I don't know what it is with me. Hopefully this is not a sign of anything bad for the future, but when I'm texting, a lot of the times I forget um like a whole word. I don't know if this is like bad. Maybe it is. But what's a good example of it? It's almost as if my brain like thinks I already wrote it and I skip over it completely. And sometimes I'll even leave the spacing for the word too, which is kind of crazy. Getting old, yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm getting old. But trading has made me realize I'm a little dyslexic though in terms of reversing um letters in ticker symbols almost like once every 2 days, maybe even once a day sometimes. Some of it does have to do with maybe rushing a little bit, like, looking at things and not really waiting patiently, like looking at the symbol. You can't really just make assumptions. Sometimes you have to slow the roll a little bit. But it looks like Mighty is still going. I'm gonna get out of here. Mighty. Where's Tim? Tim might have took off today. I didn't see him. All right, take care, stay safe. Tomorrow, as mentioned, we're going back to small size. Max loss gonna be $300 again, and just gonna grind it out on the small numbers. Very frustrating last 2 days here. Man, oh man. What? Okay. All right, take care, guys. Stay safe, stay green.